The scene opens with raw atmosphere and emotional immediacy, rain crashing down over a picture-perfect beach wedding that's unraveling in slow motion. Amidst chaos, muddy footprints, frantic guests, and drenched decorations, Lena Hart moves with calm precision. She's elegant but weary, her soaked dress clinging to her as she fixes collapsing flower arrangements and soothes panicking vendors. Every action reveals her control, her quiet endurance. Beneath her professionalism, there's a flicker of loneliness, a woman holding everything together for others while her own life feels adrift. The storm outside mirrors her internal state, restrained heartbreak disguised as composure. When Lena adjusts the trembling bride's veil, her words carry both warmth and practiced detachment. You're marrying the love of your life. Everything else will follow. The moment seems tender, but there's a haunting irony in her tone, as if she's reciting advice she once gave herself. As Madison walks down the aisle toward Ethan Vale, Lena watches, eyes flickering with recognition and buried pain. A sudden flashback intrudes, a man turning his back, a ring slipping from her trembling fingers. In that brief vision, we sense Lena's history: love lost, promises broken, a wound never quite healed. After the ceremony, Ethan approaches her to thank her personally. The rain has stopped, but the tension between them hums like static. Their exchange is light, even witty, yet beneath it simmers something undeniable, chemistry that feels both dangerous and familiar. When Madison cheerfully reveals it was only a rehearsal and Lena will be planning the real wedding, the emotional trap tightens. The audience understands what Lena cannot yet face. She's stepping into a storm of her own making, where duty and desire are destined to collide. Lena's world is one of order and restraint, a small, spotless apartment high above the noise of the city. Every item has its place, every surface gleams, and yet the space feels almost sterile, more curated than lived in. The view is beautiful but lonely, much like her life. Her failed engagement years ago left an invisible wound. Her fiancé's betrayal with her best friend taught her that love is fragile, temporary, and dangerous. She's built walls of perfection and professionalism to keep herself safe. Work is her refuge, a world she can control when her heart remains untouchable. Her assistant, Chloe, provides a sharp, affectionate contrast, messy, romantic, unfiltered. She teases Lena constantly about her no-love policy, calling her the architect of other people's fairy tales. Their exchanges bring levity but also reveal how deeply Lena's heartbreak defines her. Meanwhile, Madison Cole bursts into the narrative like a force of curated chaos, wealthy, radiant, and desperate to project perfection. Her upcoming wedding to Ethan Vale isn't just personal, it's a performance for millions. Every flower, every filter, every smile is part of a brand she's determined to protect, no matter the emotional cost. Ethan, however, is the quiet storm beneath Madison's glossy surface, kind, introspective, uncomfortable with constant attention. As he and Lena collaborate late into the night, small conversations bloom into something intimate, shared music tastes, old regrets, dreams they've both quietly buried. Their connection grows not through romance but recognition, two lonely souls hiding behind roles they didn't choose. One night, as Lena arranges candles, Ethan murmurs, "You make everything feel like it matters again." The words hang between them like a confession. She pretends not to hear, but her heart does. The tension breaks during a critical venue meeting, the kind where every detail matters. A small scheduling error spirals into chaos, and Madison, already on edge, lashes out at Lena in front of the entire staff. Her voice drips with entitlement and venom, tearing down Lena's professionalism and dignity. The room goes silent, the humiliation sharp and public. Then Ethan steps in, his voice calm but firm, "You don't get to talk to people like that." The confrontation leaves everyone stunned. For the first time, Madison's perfect image fractures, and beneath it, the uneasy truth of their relationship starts to show. That evening, the storm outside mirrors the turmoil within. Lena finds Ethan sitting alone in the dimly lit, half-decorated reception hall, suit jacket off, tie loose, shoulders heavy with exhaustion. When he finally speaks, it's not anger but quiet despair. "I think I'm marrying her for all the wrong reasons." The air thickens between them as unspoken understanding settles in. Two people who shouldn't connect suddenly do, not through desire, but through pain, honesty, and recognition. Their silence says what they cannot. For a moment, they're not planner and groom, but two broken hearts finding reflection, the storm intensifies, and a sudden power outage plunges the hall into darkness. Rain pounds the windows, candles flicker, and time seems to slow. Ethan's voice breaks the silence, raw, trembling. "I haven't felt peace until you walked into my life." The words hang there, forbidden and tender, an emotional confession that changes everything. They don't touch, don't kiss, but the intimacy between them feels more dangerous than either could imagine. When morning comes, Lena resolves to finish the wedding and disappear from his life, but the line has already been crossed. As the wedding draws closer, the emotional wires tighten. Madison's perfectionism hardens into cruelty. She barks orders, changes plans impulsively, and treats Lena like an accessory to her brand. Ethan, once patient, now recoils from her shallow displays. In contrast, his quiet moments with Lena become charged with unspoken longing. What begins as professional coordination, texts about florists and guest lists, turns personal. Shared music links, late-night jokes, fragments of truth neither should reveal. Lena feels herself slipping, every boundary she built eroding under the weight of connection. Her heart betrays her professionalism, and guilt seeps into every stolen glance. Chloe becomes the voice of reason amid the emotional storm. She sees the signs, the way Lena lingers on Ethan's name, the way her tone softens when he calls. "You're falling for a man who's taken," she warns gently. "Don't make this mistake again." The reminder slices deep, echoing Lena's old wounds. Meanwhile, Madison's paranoia intensifies. Sensing Ethan's detachment, she hires a private photographer under the guise of capturing content for her followers. Unknowingly, she's documenting the very moments that betray her: fleeting looks, quiet laughter, hands brushing for a second too long. The camera becomes fate's witness. Lena finally reaches her breaking point and decides to quit the project, desperate to escape the spiral of guilt and temptation. But when she confronts Ethan, his words stop her cold. "You're the only real thing in my life." The confession shatters her resolve. Their first kiss is desperate, inevitable, more surrender than passion. The moment ends, but the guilt lingers like a bruise. That night, Lena can't sleep. She deletes his messages, tries to bury herself in work, but her heart won't obey. Outside, Madison plans a glittering pre-wedding gala, a perfect stage for the chaos that's coming. The pre-wedding gala glitters with false perfection, chandeliers gleam, champagne flows, and every smile is rehearsed. Madison takes the stage, radiant and composed, delivering a speech about loyalty, success, and the beauty of lasting love. But as her words echo across the hall, the projector behind her flickers to life, not with the promotional reel she planned, but with candid photos. Ethan and Lena caught in unguarded moments, laughing over candles, his hand brushing hers, their kiss beneath fairy lights. The room falls silent. Gasps ripple through the crowd like a physical force. Madison turns to see her world collapsing in real time. For a moment, no one moves. Madison's face drains of color, her hand trembling as she stares at the betrayal projected 10 feet high. Ethan stands frozen, torn between guilt and disbelief, while Lena's heart hammers in her chest. Cameras click, whispers spread, and judgment fills the room. When Lena flees, the flash of phones follows her like a punishment. Madison rounds on Ethan, eyes burning with humiliation and rage, before striking him across the face in front of everyone. The slap echoes louder than the music, the sound of a life imploding. The fallout is swift and brutal. Madison's father, whose wealth built Ethan's company, pulls funding overnight, destroying his startup and reputation. Paparazzi swarm, headlines explode, and within days, both Ethan and Lena become public villains. When Ethan finally finds her, she's hiding in her apartment, a woman stripped of pride, consumed by regret. He doesn't blame her. Instead, he offers quiet heartbreak. "I'm not angry. You just reminded me what love could have been." They hold each other through the silence, tears replacing words. Their goodbye is final. Two souls who loved each other too late, and lost everything for it. Months pass, and Lena begins to rebuild her life from the wreckage. The scandal has faded, but its scars remain, reminders of how easily love can consume and destroy. She leaves her prestigious city job and opens a small studio called True North Events, tucked away on a quiet street. Gone are the extravagant budgets and influencer clients, She now plans small, heartfelt ceremonies, weddings grounded in honesty rather than spectacle. Each event becomes an act of quiet redemption. For the first time in years, Lena works not to impress but to connect, to help others find what she once lost. Ethan vanishes from public view, retreating into silence after his company's collapse and the public fallout. His absence lingers in Lena's thoughts, not as longing but as a ghost of who they were, two people who met at the wrong time, paid the price, and survived. When an anonymous booking request arrives for a modest wedding, a widowed single mother, no press, payment upfront, it feels like another ordinary job. Lena accepts it without suspicion, focused only on her mission to create something genuine, something untouched by ego or performance. When she arrives at the quiet venue, the universe folds in on itself. Ethan is there not as the groom, but as the officiant for his sister's ceremony. The air stills as their eyes meet, not with pain but with understanding. Time has softened them both. He smiles faintly and says, "You built something honest." Her reply trembles but true, "I finally did too." There's no grand reunion, no promise of forever, only peace. Their story ends not in rekindled love, but in quiet grace, two people who found themselves by letting each other go. The story comes full circle by the sea, where everything once unraveled. After officiating Ethan's sister's wedding, Lena lingers alone on the quiet beach, the setting sun tinting the horizon gold. The laughter and music fade behind her, replaced by the rhythmic pulse of waves. It begins to rain, soft, cleansing, familiar. She doesn't run for cover this time. Instead, she tilts her face upward, letting the drops trace her skin like forgiveness. The rain that once symbolized chaos now feels like renewal. She breathes deeply, finally unburdened, the pain of her past transformed into quiet strength. Her voice, calm and reflective, carries over the scene like a confession. 4 years, I planned other people's dreams. It took breaking my own rules to learn that love isn't about perfect timing, it's about truth, even when it hurts. Each word lands with gentle honesty, not as regret but as release. The waves crash softly against the shore, mirroring the steady rhythm of her newfound peace. The audience feels the catharsis, not through grand gestures, but in the simplicity of her acceptance. Lena has learned to live without armor, to trust imperfection, to let go. As she walks away, her footprints dissolve under the rising tide, the ocean washing the past clean. The final image lingers, a solitary woman, no longer broken, walking toward an open horizon. There's no reunion, no romantic closure, only the quiet dignity of self-respect reclaimed. The camera lingers as the sound of the sea swells, then fades. What remains is stillness, the kind that comes after a storm. Lena's story ends not with love found, but with self healed, a reminder that wholeness can be the most powerful kind of ending.